Senegal's president, Macky Sall, made a surprise announcement on Saturday, indefinitely postponing elections scheduled for later this month. He cited controversy surrounding the disqualification of some presidential candidates. Now, the opposition has accused Sall of trying to cling on to power, and protests have taken place in the capital, Dakar. Senegal is often viewed as the continent's most stable democracy, a rare pillar of stability in West Africa, where its neighbours have faced coups and civil wars. Sall says he's not going to run for a third term, but with no new date for the presidential election and prominent candidates still barred from contesting, is the country sinking deeper into political turmoil? Nicholas Hack has the latest for us from the Senegalese capital.
So we've been trying to film outside the parliament, but we've been pushed around by police who have not allowed us to film in either location. This is a very tense moment for Senegal. Inside the parliament is our MPs gathering to make this historic vote to give a date of when the presidential elections are going to take place. A key factor here too is whether or not President Macky Sall's mandate will end. It's supposed to end in April. Now that has not been mentioned in the bill that's going to be voted inside the House of Parliament, and that's an issue of contention. But you can see out here, police are out in full force. There's riots, sporadic fighting between opposition supporters and security forces, not just here around the parliament, but throughout the country. Never has there been an election canceled or delayed in this country. There's always been a peaceful handover of power from one president to another. Senegal is entering uncharted waters, and this is making the situation so tense. All eyes are on what's going to happen inside the National Assembly. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera for Inside Story.
Well, there's plenty more to discuss with our guests in just a moment, but first this report, which takes a look at the state of democracy right now in Senegal.
Senegal is in crisis. Protests broke out after President Macky Sall announced he would be delaying the elections scheduled for later this month.
He has betrayed the spirit of dialogue. He has betrayed the Senegalese people. The base of the social contract is our country's constitution.
We are about to face a crisis, a political crisis, and who knows, maybe if the opposition decides to join their force, maybe we're going to face violences.
Sall says the postponement is due to the controversy surrounding the rejection of some presidential candidates.
I will initiate an open national dialogue to bring together the conditions for a free, transparent and inclusive election in a peaceful and reconciled Senegal.
But he hasn't set a new date, prompting criticism that the move is a bid to stay in power. Senegal gained independence in 1960, and Léopold Sédar Senghor was its first democratically elected leader. The country has seen peaceful transitions of power since, and is widely considered a pillar of stability in West Africa. Unlike its neighbours, Senegal has never faced a coup or civil war. But now there's growing uncertainty about when people will get a chance to cast their ballots, and fears that when the vote does happen, it may not be free or fair.
We are in a country where people are mistreated. It's really tough for us. The world needs to understand this. This is a cry from the heart.
In June, demonstrations took place after speculation that Sall was eyeing a third term. It was only in July that the president announced he would not be running. But since then, several leading opposition candidates have been disqualified. And entrepreneur and presidential hopeful Anta Babacar Ngom was arrested on Sunday. Sall says he's trying to safeguard democracy, but his actions seem to be putting the most stable democracy in West Africa at risk. Veronica Pedrosa, Al Jazeera for Inside.